Now, I think I covered this a little bit either several days ago, could have been 2 weeks ago, something like that. But there's a little bit more information now. And I do say it is very strange. I have not seen any video or anything of Hillary, Bush Jr., like any of those people like that got the envelopes at the funeral. I've seen a couple tweets. Hillary, did an Instagram post. Wasn't even, how often does she do Instagram? I don't know. But nothing that shows her like now speaking, whatever. It makes me wonder. Now, Utsava seems to think they've already been snatched up, awaiting their tribunal or something. But when you hear what I'm about to read you, you're going to realize just how bad things were in this country, that we had an absolute deep state running things. We had no kind of democracy. There was no republic. There was nothing. It was this government run by these criminals, and the lengths that they would go to keep their criminal enterprise going. John Clapper, or Clapper, Brennan, John Brennan, James Clapper, whatever. And just think about, as I read you this, just think in the back of your mind, oh my God, could you imagine if Hillary had won? Just how much further this deep state system would have gone. I don't know if I should include this here now. I almost feel like I need a separate video for this, but it'd be a quick one. I think I will. It's basically a video. Remember when Donald Trump, 19 days left or something like that, when he was running against Hillary, and they kind of did the little roast. So he had to roast Hillary for like a certain amount of time, And one of the things he said was about, Hillary says it takes a village, takes a village to raise a kid, it takes a village. Well, she ought to know from all the kids in Haiti or something. And I was like, oh, did we miss that? And I kind of, whoa. I think I'll go ahead and do a separate video just because it deserves it. So this is bigleaguepolitics.com. Evidence: Brennan and Clapper hacked FISA court Judge Reggie Walton, and James Comey covered it up. Evidence is now circulating among lawmakers in Washington that makes the case that Obama administration intelligence officials John Brennan and James Clapper hacked FISA court Judge Reggie Walton in addition to Supreme Court Justice John Roberts. Big League Politics expose on the alleged Roberts hack has rocked the corridors of power. We now have more information coming to light about the FISA court, which infamously held no hearings. Remember that? Where the heck did it go? Regarding the fraudulent FISA warrant applications to surveil Carter Page and, by extension, other members of President Trump's team. And there's more. James Comey's henchmen at the FBI are proven to have covered it up. Tapes released by federal Judge G. Murray Snow, preserved on a whistleblower SoundCloud page, which they actually link to, show real estate billionaire Timothy Blixith explaining Brennan and Clapper's surveillance program to guess who? Remember the one who went after Obama's birth certificate? And someone that Donald Trump pardoned? See if this name rings a bell. Explaining Brennan and Clapper's surveillance program to Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio and Detective Mike Zullo. The existence of this surveillance program has been corroborated by WikiLeaks' Vault 7 release and by the public comments of former CIA and NSA contractor Dennis Montgomery, who says he worked on the program for Brennan and Clapper. Montgomery has gone public with his claims, exposing how the program was used to spy on President Donald Trump when he was a private citizen. Montgomery has gained immunity and desperately wants House Intelligence Chairman Representative Devin Nunes or other lawmakers to call him to testify about what he knows. On the explosive tapes, Blixith walks Arpaio and Zullo through the details of the program on a computer screen. At one point, the three begin pulling up specific names of targeted individuals. And this is part of what I said last time, because I remember this. You know who that guy is? That's the head of the FISA court they hacked into, Reggie Walton, Blixith tells the investigators. John Roberts, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, was hacked, he tells Arpaio and Zullo. Insiders have always been skeptical of Roberts' motives for siding with President Obama on the 2012 Obamacare case. While there's still no available evidence that Roberts was blackmailed, the allegation that he was hacked by Obama officials provides some more context into the justice's controversial career. As Big League Politics reported, former FBI Director James Comey seized and buried volumes of information that demonstrated this wide-ranging government surveillance operation targeting Donald Trump before he became president. Larry Klayman, attorney for former NSA and CIA contractor and whistleblower Dennis Montgomery, delivered to the FBI 47 hard drives and data amounting to more than 600 million pages of documentation on the surveillance scheme. Then FBI Director, you guess who, James Comey's general counsel, James Baker, took the data into his possession, according to multiple sources. But despite possessing Montgomery's bombshell whistleblower revelations, James Comey never acted or even publicized the information. Additionally, Comey's former firm, this is interesting to me, Lockheed Martin, granted entry to Montgomery to one of its facilities to help him work on the alleged mass surveillance program, which was allegedly overseen by Obama administration officials John Brennan and James Clapper, and specifically targeted Trump. So this guy, Montgomery, is saying, I had access to a facility owned and operated by Lockheed Martin. I thought they dealt with, aircraft and spacecraft and, highly advanced missile systems and lasers, sharks with lasers. Wasn't it Ben Rich from the Skunk Works division of Lockheed Martin that in 93, Ben Rich, right? 1993, Ben Rich, 1993, technology to take ET home. Ben Rich, misquoted by many in the UFO community. Let's see. Oh, there's that one side I just read from a little while ago, Collective Evolution. Second director of Lockheed Skunk Works, shocking comments about UFO technology. It's quite remarkable how many verified statements we have regarding UFOs and extraterrestrials from people who have held the highest positions possible within the government, military, academia, politics, and more. To be honest, it's overwhelming, and when you put all those statements together, I want to find the quote. Rich was the second director of Lockheed Skunk Works from 1975 to 1991. He's been called the father of stealth, having overseen the development of the stealth fighter, the F-117A Nighthawk. Before his death, Rich made several shocking open statements about the reality of UFOs and extraterrestrials. We already have the means to travel among the stars, but these technologies are locked up in black projects, and it would take an act of God to ever get them out to benefit humanity. Anything you can imagine, we already know how to do it. We now have, another quote, we now have technology to take ET home. No, it won't take someone's lifetime to do it. There is an error in the equations. We know what it is. We now have the capability to travel to the stars. And another quote, there are two types of UFOs, the one we build and the ones they build. When Rich was asked about UFO propulsion, how it worked, he said, let me ask you, how does ESP work? The questioner responded with, all points in time and space are connected. Rich then said, that's how it works. This seems to be related to quantum entanglement. You can read about it here, blah, blah, blah. So why am I reading that right now? Why did I get off on that? Because that's the company that has technology that can do anything you can imagine, that allowed this guy to come in for deep state operations, which means criminal criminal. When you hear the word deep state, it just means anything and everything attached to that is criminal, big time. And they've got a facility for you to come in here and play. Yeah, come on over. You can do all your work over here. You can do all the spying and everything. Yeah, come on over here and do it. And we're hearing about, like, my last video or whatever, the little girl, 26 years old, she just died in her sleep last night from the H1N1, chicken flu, bird flu. Okay, but no one said she was sick. Her friend said no, she was fine the night before. So my question is highly, and I mean highly, advanced technology being used to just, make someone catch a cold? You know what I'm saying? And then they don't recover from it. And is Lockheed Martin the one handing out that technology to its deep state buddies who have fed it enormous amounts of money over the years through all these contracts, which, by the way, James Comey went and worked for Lockheed Martin, if you recall, for a number of years as a lawyer for them, who in turn got millions of dollars from them for doing so, then went back into government. Leave government, go over there, get a fat paycheck, come back to government. Now I'm head of the FBI. Yeah, that James Comey. And yeah, that Lockheed Martin. Again, additionally, Comey's former firm, Lockheed Martin, granted entry to Montgomery to one of its facilities to help him work on the alleged mass surveillance program, which was allegedly overseen by Obama administration officials John Brennan and James Clapper and specifically targeted Trump. Quote, "This guy showed me 900 million phone calls. And I see myself in there. I see people I know. I see Donald Trump in there a zillion times. And Bloomberg is in there," Blixith said on tape, referring to information that Montgomery allegedly showed him. "We don't have any comment," the FBI told Big League Politics when questioned about the existence of the program. Not that, there's no way, no, that's absolutely fraud. That's fraudulent. No. When you hear, "I don't have a comment," or like James the photographic memory Comey says, "I don't remember," what was it, 100 or 197, 179 times? I don't recall, I don't remember. Photographic memory, James Comey doesn't know anything. They can't remember anything. Yeah. When you hear the FBI, again, part of what James Comey was, "We don't have any comment." When you hear any government official, I don't have any comment at this time. That equates to, I'm guilty as hell, and I can't comment because I can't say anything right now that's going to get me out of this. So I'll just prefer not to say a damn thing. "I provided to the FBI 17 businesses of Donald Trump, including the Trump Tower, the Trump leasing programs, all of these different programs, and including Trump himself and the various family members that had been wiretapped under these programs," Montgomery said in a recent interview. "There has been a wiretap on Trump for years." Well, let's see. When did he make the comment about, remember when he was talking with Corsi? Corsi was telling him about the fake fraudulent Obama birth certificate and all that stuff. Remember that? That was way before Donald Trump ever even thought, or at least as far as we know, about running for president. But that was like 2013, 2014. Right? I don't even remember the exact year right now. Maybe even earlier. So the deep state realized right then, okay, this guy, why is this guy Arpaio, or not Arpaio, although Arpaio was involved too, but Corsi, why is he making these phone calls with Trump about the birth certificate? They probably started spying on him immediately back then. "There has been a wiretap on Trump for years. I started by going to Maricopa County and showing that Sheriff Arpaio himself was wiretapped under the Obama administration," the whistleblower said. "I was a CIA contractor both under John Brennan and under James Clapper, and these individuals were running domestic surveillance programs in the United States, collecting information on Americans. This isn't political. They were collecting information on Republicans and Democrats, but they collected everything they could find: bank accounts, phone numbers, chats, emails, and they collected a massive amount of it under the Obama administration," Montgomery said. "I reported on how Peter Strzok, an agent of Comey's FBI, was the point man on every single aspect of Operation Crossfire Hurricane, the failed deep state plot to target President Donald Trump for destruction." Imagine just imagine this, having all this information, illegal, but you've got it at your fingertips. His family, Trump's family, himself, his acquaintances, his business. You should be able to dig through all that emails, texts, like, and find one little sparkling glimmer of hope somewhere. Oh my God, we can get him on this. Right? Could you imagine someone having access to your almost your entire life history and then just going through it all, trying to find one little thing, and said, "Oh, got him. Let's get him for that." They couldn't even find that. So they had to make up. They had to make up the Russia collusion story. That's how squeaky clean Donald Trump is. And maybe, I'll just go there. Maybe Donald Trump knew a really long time ago. Hint, Mr. Future President, be very careful. What you say and do is going to be, your whole life's going to be illegally recorded. Just as you do things, just remember that. Okay. That would be interesting. More and more details are pouring out about the underhanded conspiracy to damage and impeach President Donald Trump by Obama operatives John Brennan, James Comey, Andrew McCabe, Sally Yates, and a few others. The effort has a special code name, Operation Crossfire Hurricane. They used Peter Strzok as their go-to guy, which is why their operation is now falling apart. Strzok's massive illegal activities and incompetence could open up the entire Crossfire Hurricane team to numerous federal charges. No, because that implies federal court, more deep state operatives who are now the judges, again appointed by these past presidents. This is bigger than federal, like at that level. This is military tribunals, off with their heads, okay? Strzok is a disgraced FBI agent and fired Robert Mueller team member whose text messages with Mistress Lisa Page formed the biggest scandal in FBI history. The lovers conspired to illegally bring down Trump, all while the FBI was spying on the Trump campaign. Strzok interviewed Hillary Clinton without putting her under oath and granted immunity to Cheryl Mills and Clinton's other associates right before he flew to London to meet with Christopher Steele to work on the anti-Trump dossier, which was sponsored by the Clinton-funded firm Fusion GPS. That dossier was used to fraudulently obtain FISA warrants to surveil Trump Tower. Barack Obama read bits of the dossier in his daily presidential briefings, courtesy of Brennan. Fusion GPS, meanwhile, sent operatives into Trump Tower to entrap Don Jr. and Jared Kushner in a meeting with planted Russians. When it was time for the conspirators to focus on Trump campaign advisor George Papadopoulos, Strzok was there to run information about the advisor to the Australians. When it was time to take out Trump's national security advisor, General Michael Flynn, Strzok was there to stage an ambush interrogation of Flynn without Flynn's lawyer present. Let's walk through Strzok's amazing Zelig-like role in every facet of Operation Crossfire Hurricane. Brennan hired Strzok to write the Intelligence Community's Assessment, ICA, in January of 2017. This was an official document used to spur on the Robert Mueller investigation, but the document did not actually find any evidence of collusion between Trump and Russia. It merely said that Vladimir Putin aspired to help Trump and that Russia developed a clear preference for Trump. The Christopher Steele dossier was added as an appendix to the ICA report, even though Brennan lied and told Congress that it was never used. Comey sent Strzok to London to meet with the Australian. By the way, you paid for that. You too. You paid for Comey to send Strzok to London to meet, and I bet he flew on a private flight. You know what I'm saying? Got all, probably had some hot chicks on the plane. $100,000 in food and wine and beverages. You know how they don't play. Anyways, but ultimately you paid for that, sending him to London to meet with the Australians about George Papadopoulos. George Papadopoulos was surveilled in real time by the FBI. Who set him up? Peter Strzok, whose meeting with the Australian ambassador in London provided key basis for the creation of Robert Mueller's investigation, according to none other than the New York Times. And from Zero Hedge, they're quoting, the FBI sent counterintelligence agents, one of whom was Peter Strzok, to London in the summer of 2016 to meet with Australian Ambassador Alexander Downer to describe his meeting with Trump campaign advisor George Papadopoulos. The meeting with Downer was described as highly unusual and helped provide the foundation for a case that, a year ago Thursday, became the Special Counsel investigation. The FBI kept details of the operation secret from most of the Department of Justice, with only about 5 Justice Department officials aware of the full scope of the case. And those 5 were probably the people like at the quote-unquote 7th floor group. John Kerry, remember those guys previously? Big league politics called attention in July of 2017 to the fact that Strzok was serving on the Mueller team after personally overseeing the Hillary Clinton email investigation at the FBI and personally conducting the interview with Hillary Clinton that was not under oath and which led to no incarceration for the Democrat candidate. Strzok also withheld information about the Hillary case from Congress, according to this text. Peter Strzok, September 10, 2016. Thing is, there are very inflammatory things in the 302s we didn't turn over to Congress because they weren't relevant to understanding the focus of the investigation that are going to come out in the FISA or FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, and absolutely inflame Congress. I'm sure Jim and Tricia and Dave and Mike are all considering how things like that play out as they talk amongst themselves. With the pressure on, Strzok's wife, Melissa Hodgman, Associate Director of the Enforcement Division of the Securities and Exchange Commission, is scrubbing her Obama and Clinton links. Hodgman was promoted by Obama just 2 weeks before FBI Director James Comey reopened the investigation into Hillary Clinton's email scandal in 2016. And by the way, Q has some information on that, but he doesn't really say what. He says, when was she promoted? Where was she promoted to? What's her title there? And I'm like, okay. But what else? What does that mean? What does it mean? Hodgman was promoted by Obama just 2 weeks before FBI Director James Comey reopened the investigation into Hillary's email scandal in 2016, leading political insiders to suspect that Hodgman might have been involved in the federal government's cover-up. Some of the liked pages on her Facebook account on December 3rd included, "Thank you, Obama," and "We voted for Hillary." Strzok sets up Flynn. On January 24, 2017, Peter Strzok interviewed General Michael Flynn inside the White House alongside another agent. Flynn's lawyer was not present. Flynn apparently did not tell the White House about his meeting. Guess who did? Sally Yates, the anti-Trump Deputy Attorney General, whose underling told the FBI to shut down the Clinton Foundation case. Yates informed the White House on January 26 that Flynn met with the FBI. That was the beginning of the end for the original Trump White House. Strzok was close personal friends with the Foreign Intelligence Judge Rudolph Contreras, who accepted General Flynn's guilty plea. Contreras recused himself after he already accepted Flynn's guilty plea. Strzok and Page detailed their plan to meet with Contreras in a July 25, 2016 series of texts. Page: Rudy is on the FISA court. Did you know that? Just appointed 2 months ago. Did you catch that? Appointed. Not voted in, appointed. So you think you're going to get justice? Let's go to the federal court. Federal judge so-and-so appointed by Obama. Federal judge so-and-so appointed by Bill Clinton. Federal judge so-and-so appointed by George Herbert Walker Bush. Federal judge so-and-so, Dodo Bird Jr. Bush, You think you're going to get he's not going to ask for a jury trial. No, don't need a jury. Judge, what do you rule? Not guilty. Have a nice day. Which is why they've got to go after him through the military court system. And they are going to do it. Rudy's on the FISA court. Did you know that? Says Page. Just appointed 2 months ago. Strzok. I did. I need to get together with him. Oh, I bet you do. Page. Said he'd gotten on a month or two ago at a graduation party we were both at. Hey, George Carlin. It's a big effing club, and you ain't in it. They're at parties hanging out together. FISA court guy, FBI agent, FBI lawyer. Hey, I want to be with winners. I want to be with winners. In the deep state, I want to be with winners. Oh, come on, guys. I want to be with winners. Strzok and Page's text revealed their anti-Trump plot. It is well known that Strzok and Page discussed their anti-Trump conspiracy many thousands of times over text messages that have been mostly released. The lovers, what would lover? I didn't print the effing word lover. Little jerky boys. The lovers' repeated reference to CF, referred to Crossfire. Here are Hot Air's favorites. Strzok. God, Hillary should win. 1,000,000 to 0. Strzok. Just went to a Southern Virginia Walmart. I could smell the Trump support. Stroke. I'm riled up. Trump is an effing idiot. Is unable to provide a coherent answer. Clapper tried to use the Supreme Court to block Trump's inauguration. In January, as Brennan was having stroke write the fraudulent ICA report, Brennan's partner in crime, Obama Director of National Intelligence James Clapper, was cooking up his own side plot to stop the Trump inauguration from happening. Clapper held a meeting in his office on January 2017 to discuss using a female Supreme Court justice to block Trump from being president due to the Russia conspiracy. A high-level member of the intelligence community who witnessed the meeting said that Clapper discussed going to one of 3 female Supreme Court justices to make, oh, you mean one of the 3 liberal female justices? Oh, okay, just checking. To make the case that alleged Russian interference could invalidate Trump's claim to the presidency. I know it does not make any sense. I am passing on what was an actual conversation in Jim Clapper's office last Friday. Another text the witness sent to BLP's source around the same time described how the deep state was making General Michael Flynn a rising target for his alleged involvement with Russians and stating that House Speaker Paul Ryan is a wild card in the deep state wars. So there's a little more information on that. This should seriously piss you off. This should really rile you up. You know, just like little prick bastard Stroke. I'm riled up. Where was it? I am riled up. Trump is an effing idiot. He's unable to provide a coherent answer. I just went to Southern Virginia Walmart. I could smell the Trump support. Oh, you haven't smelled anything yet, you little bastard. You're about this, like The Rock. Remember The Rock? Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? Your ass is grass. And Donald Trump, with his team of military professionals, is the lawnmower. You guys are going to be tried for the treasonous crimes that you've committed. And I look forward to that day, the day we look forward to restoring our republic. And a whole bunch of Democratic congressmen and women are going to be cleaned out too, because there are a bunch of them that are a part of this, and they knew about it, and they are, again, they're deep into it too. Which is why January 3rd, one of the congressmen has now put articles of impeachment forward. Yeah, okay. I wish you all the luck in the world with that. Take care.